This may be my favorite section out of all of Doctrine and Covenants. If you listen to any of them, I hope it is this one. It's so good. We're in section 67, and first, can I just say, oh my Lanta, we made it. I just was sure that we would not be here together tonight. There were lots of things to make tonight not happen, but we're here, and we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do the best section we have done thus far. It's super short. It's 14 verses. The history and context, it's really not much. This section is completely about you. It's going to be your favorite. William W. Phelps, print shop. He is the one that printed the first book of commandments, which just barely mentions in this section. So when you hear Book of Commandments, know that it is relevant to him because he is does the print shop, prints the first copy of it. Let me just read. I'm just going to read without saying much because you're going to enjoy it so much as is. Are you ready? All right, behold and hearken, O ye elders of my church, who have assembled yourselves together, whose prayers I have heard, and whose hearts I know. I know your heart. I hear your prayers. Isn't that sometimes all you need to hear? It is for me. And whose hearts I know, and whose desires have come up before me. Behold and lo, mine eyes are upon you. I see you. I hear you. I know you. And the heavens and the earth are in mine hands, and the riches of eternity are mine to give. Ye endeavored to believe that you should receive the blessing which was offered unto you, but behold, verily I say unto you, you ready for your heart to break? There were fears in your heart, and verily this is the reason that you did not receive. And now I, the Lord, give unto you a testimony of truth of these commandments which are lying before you. Your eyes have been upon my servant Joseph Smith Jr., and his language you have known, and his imperfections you have known, and you have sought in your heart's knowledge that you might express beyond his language. This you also know. Now, seek ye out the book of commandments. Even the least that is among you, and appoint him that is the most wise among you, or if any be among you that shall make one like unto it, then they shall be justified in saying that they do not know that they are true. But if you cannot make one unto it, and are under condemnation, you do not bear record that they are true, for you know that there is no unrighteousness in them. That which is righteous cometh down from above, from the Father of lights. No, not one of my favorites, but one that I really love is the title of his is, the Father of lights. And again, verily I say unto you that it is your privilege and a promise I give unto you that you have been ordained unto this ministry. And inasmuch as you strip yourselves from jealousies, from fears, and humble yourselves before me, for you are not sufficiently humble, and veil shall be rent, and you shall see me. You shall see me, and know that I am, not with the carnal, neither the natural mind, but with the spiritual. For no man has seen God at any time in the flesh, except quickened by the Spirit of God. Neither can any natural man abide in the presence of God, neither after the carnal mind. Ye are not able to abide in the presence of God now, neither the ministering of angels. Wherefore, continue in patience, until you are perfected, which we know perfection doesn't come until after resurrection. Let not your minds turn back. And when you are worthy, in mine own due time, ye shall see and know that which was conferred upon you by the hands of my servant Joseph Smith Jr. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the word perfection because we talk about that so much time and clarify that Christ did not consider himself perfect until he was resurrected, so neither should we. Let me tell you how I marked this, and then we're going to go on a beautiful tangent that I think you'll like. Whose prayers I have heard, whose hearts I know, whose desires have come before me. Mine eyes are upon you. The heavens and the earth are mine, in mine hands. The riches of eternity are mine to give. There were fears in your hearts. This is the reason that you did not believe. The Father of lights. It is your privilege, this ministry. Strip yourselves from jealousies and fears. Humble yourself. You shall see me and know that I am. Continue in patience until you are perfected. Let not your minds turn back. In my own due time you shall see and know. Continue in patience until you are perfected is really just another way. Birdie, no. Continue in patience is really just saying another way to say endure to the end, but we hear endure to the end that we hate it. We hate the phrase. I hate the phrase. I'm sick of it. That it's just like, I don't want to endure. I don't want to spend my life enduring it all. So another way to rephrase it that doesn't have such a negative light is to endure in patience until you are perfected. And I say it means until the end, endure to the end, because perfection doesn't come until resurrection, just like Christ taught us. Continue in patience. I just love this. Let not your mind turn back. Seek ye out the book of commandments. Another way to make that about us is he was told, that's what he was told to do. That's what the Lord wanted him to do. And he knew, the Lord, that if he did this one thing, it would be magnified, and these great things will come because of it. There's a great purpose behind it. So seek ye out the book of commandments. We can change that to seek you out what? What does he want from you? How can we seek after and pursue what he wants of us? Because if we do like this, great things are going to come. And whatever he wants you to do, seek it out, because it will be magnified, greater than what we knew was going to come from it. It's basically him saying, this whole section is basically him saying, I know who you are. I see you. I hear you. I love you with a deep love. He knows all of you because he created all of you, because you are his, and that cannot change. And when he asks something of us, or really just anything in general, to just remember that his entire, sorry, my phone's dying. Remember that his entire existence is to bring us to the better things and to make us better. So when we hear the phrase and when we think of our life, there are fear in your hearts, and this is why you did not receive. I don't want to spend too much time thinking about the things that I may have missed out on because of fear. And in theory, it shouldn't be that hard to trust a perfect, all-knowing God. And yet it is. Why is it so hard to trust him completely? Well, if it were me, it's probably because if things went my way, if I were in control of my own life, then I feel like I would be able to control unmet expectations and disappointments. If I were in control of my own life, I feel safer, because it's comfortable knowing and being in charge. But what would we do differently right now? What would we do differently if we remind ourselves that, you know, He knows all of you, everything that's happening? What would we do differently if we allowed God to be God? What would we do differently if we did trust Him completely? What could life look like? What could blossom if we stopped keeping God at arm's length because of fear? How can we overcome this fear? Well, for me, it's, reminding myself that His entire existence is to make us better and bring us better. How can I overcome fear? Well, let God be God. Allow Him the opportunity to show us how great He really is. How do we do that? Well, see your seasons through. Embrace the unexpected, knowing who is guiding you. Continue in patience. It is your privilege to be a part of it all. Just like in verse 10, it is your privilege to be led by Him, to be loved by Him, to be known by Him, all of which are true right off in the very first and second and third verses. And it's funny, when we step back and think about it all, it's funny to think that I think I could do a better job than He can with me in my own life and decisions. It's just put aside your fears. Allow Him to take you somewhere better. How do we know it's going to be better? Well, because He is perfect. And He is mindful, He is awake, He is aware, He is conscious, He does not sleep, nor does He take breaks, nor does He close His eyes, neglect, or abandon, or play favorites. And if we ever need a reminder that great things are waiting for us, and if we ever need a reminder of the reality of it all, where we stand with Him and where He's at with us, then section 67 is it. My phone is dying, so I'm going to cut myself off here, and I have a puppy eating a cardboard box, so I'm going to go clean that up. I will not be here Mother's Day tomorrow, but I hope you have a great day. And I have had some really awful Mother's Days, so just worry about you tomorrow. If you could possibly be in that category, set some boundaries, stay away from things if you need to, and remind yourself, really maybe even just read this tomorrow. If you feel alone, out of sight, hidden from God, and tomorrow may be a reminder of those feelings, then read this section. Because he hears you, He sees you, He knows you, and He loves you, and He is in charge of not only you, but also the earth, the whole world. He is in charge of all of that, and He will bring you to the better things, even if on our path to them is a little bit longer than anticipated, but that path brings us to magnification. Okay, good night. So long. I will see you on Monday. I wish you could see how I rigged my phone to stay up, because everything's upstairs in a room with a sleeping baby. So we rigged it, but we did it. I'll see you tomorrow.